iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.
Percy Jackson, as a young kid, he's sort of having troubles at school. He finds himself, not like the others, sort of awkward, always getting into trouble. And so his mother goes to try to tell him, exactly what's going on. But unfortunately, before she's able to do that, she's taken away. And so then he gets dropped into Camp Half-Blood when he finds out that one of his parents is actually a god. It's an interesting journey of him discovering who he truly is as the son of a god. And along the way, he meets Annabeth and Grover, and they sort of go on an adventure together, discovering who they are and discovering something that ultimately I will leave up to grabs because I don't want to spoil it. But it does involve lightning. So
We definitely had our work cut out for us. We had to win over a lot of hearts and minds. We had to prove that we were good stewards of Rick's beautiful book and this property. And we knew we had to get it right. And so working really hard and knowing that that's paid off and that they've embraced it in such a wonderful way to be a part of that community, it's really rewarding. Man, and there's no better feeling in the world.
Yeah, there's always been a little sense of momentum with this piece. Ever since the first workshop, we knew that we were working on a property that was beloved. And so we always hoped that it would have a big future to it. And so it's really amazing that that actually has come to fruition. And so this stint on Broadway feels like the most amazing reward in the world.
I've been attached since December 2013. That was its very first 2-week workshop where it was just a 1-hour version, and we were just trying to think of how do you make a professor turn into a horse? And it was very, very bare bones. And I've been extremely fortunate that I've done literally every version after that.
We've been through a lot of different horse walks, gallops, trots, prances, saunters. I watched a bunch of YouTube videos of dressage horses and whatnot. And there's different moments where he's got to prance proudly or happily or celebratory in nature, and then there are other moments where it's more of a solemn trot.
This is what I got into theater for. I wanted to be part of shows and watch them grow up and blow up, you know what I mean? So the fact that I got a first-hand experience in seeing how shows form from their early days to we've gone as far as you could go. I can't believe that we've made it happen. So it's been such an awesome experience to see it from inside out and try to help in every way I possibly could get this story out there, because I feel like kids and families need to hear this story right now.
There's 7 of us on stage, but 5 of us play all the multiple characters. So the backstage life of the show is pretty chaotic. You would never know it on stage, but backstage it's wigs and dresses and everything flying around, and it's pretty insane. But I think we make it happen pretty effortlessly.
Yeah, I mean, theater is a team sport. I have 21 costume changes in the show. So, of course, I read the books and I did a lot of work on my own to come up with, what does this character's voice sound like? How do they walk? All of that kind of stuff. But at the same time, too, our costumer and our wig designer, they gave me such gifts, right, to play with in terms of what the characters look like, and then to actually execute it over the course of the show. I have a dresser and a hair person whose only job it is in the whole show to help me change my clothes and my wigs.
I was working on a new show with Stephen Brackett, and so it came out of nowhere for me. I was kind of learning the material, very, very, very in learning new material mode, and so I got this random ominous call from one of our producers who didn't even start with, hey, we're going to Broadway. He started with, okay, so we found a theater. Are you free on these dates? The Longacre Theater is going to open, so we're going to move in at this date. And I was like, wait. What? Longacre? We're going to Broadway? And then he goes, oh, yeah, honey, you're going to make your Broadway debut. And I was just like, hello? You might want to start opening with that.
Pretty much my pride and joy that I play a Broadway squirrel. There was just this moment, I've been working on this show for 5 years. I've done basically every reading of it that's ever existed. And there was a moment on like a weekend when they were working on the expanded version of the show where our composer, Rokicki, walked into the room and was like, I don't know, does anyone have like an idea of like a squirrel voice? And so like from there I was just like, I mean, I guess this, and like the idea that like, I guess this moment has like led me all the way to the Longacre Theater on Broadway. I mean, what more could you want out of your Broadway debut?
I think one of the biggest takeaways from this show is, everyone in the show, whether you're a demigod or a god or a mortal or an audience member, is you make of this life what you want it. You have to be, the change that you want to see in the world. And it's kind of use everything that you have, and you can't blame others for your misfortune or your fortune. You have to take responsibility for yourself and bring that out into the world.
I think we make it really clear in the show that we want everyone to walk out of the theater with a feeling of empowerment to take on the world around them and not sit by and wait for some larger power to fix everything for you. So we, as a show, truly believe in that, and I think we make it really clear in our last anthemic, Bring on the Monsters, that everyone leaves with that newfound power in their bones, and what makes them different makes them strong, and they're ready to take on the real world with us.
And bring on the monsters, bring on the monsters, bring on the real world. Bring on the monsters, bring on the real world. Bring on the real world.
iHeartRadio Broadway, driven by Mercedes-Benz. The best or nothing.